people that are legends, they do the work. People that are leaders, they do the work. So you have to be consistent enough in order to get where you want to get to. And I know that I had to work on consistency. I know that I have to work on my communication. I know that I have to continue to improve those things in order to be a legend, because I want to be a household name. I want to be a household brand, and I want everybody, the same way people think about Apple, the same way people think about Eric Thomas and all these great people, I want people to remember me in their minds like that. Like,
what's good? Welcome back to another episode of the Highlight Reel. As you can see today, I have my friend Tre'Vion here. And this has been a long time in the making, bro.
For sure.
You were supposed to be here last year when it was me, Jada, and Yanni shooting.
Yeah.
So explain why you didn't make it today.
Bruh, basically, we had to go to the bowling alley. We had a plan for people to meet us up at the bowling alley. Mm-hmm. And we set a specific time that intervened with the time that we were filming. And so when I had got there, I had started driving late.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, well, by the time you get to Jiraiya to shoot the podcast,
you're going to be late to
the thing. So it was like, one of us got to be there. So I just had to take it.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I'm glad to have you today because I definitely think that you're a very interesting individual. You're funny. I mean, I don't mean that. No shade.
I get what you say. I don't mean that with any shade. I do be a little unhinged, sweet. I be tweaking sometimes.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure that we definitely got at least our solo episode because I didn't get to shoot with you last time. And I was looking forward to having you on that episode because I know when you on that episode, like when you shoot with Yanni and Jada, it's just you. Yeah. So I was like, bro, you gonna have another man with you. So whatever they say, I got you because they be on you.
And that's the thing. It's like being that I'm the only man in the podcast. Yeah. It's like I just got to take a lot of things on the chin. Like that event. It's like, I think one of them were on the way at 2 at the same time, right? Okay. But they were closer. Yeah. I think it was Jada or something.
Because if y'all was both on the way, then...
Yeah, so it was like I just had to, take the low blow.
Okay. But, of course, we're going to get into a lot of the different things that you do and your involvement with the podcast, some of your growing up and background and things like that. Yeah. But I wanted to give you a little fun fact. Did you know I almost named my podcast The Growing Painz?
Oh, snap. That's crazy. We didn't actually like the name at first.
Really?
Yeah. We hated it.
I'm capping. I didn't do that. Yeah. I'm just playing, but
not the reason trolling me, Hydra. I really believe that too.
I just said that because I feel like what y'all talk about and some of the things that I talk about on my podcast are very similar. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why when I initially met y'all, I was excited because I thought that a collaboration for us would make sense. Yeah. I felt that, y'all were on the network and being with y'all, meeting y'all, hearing y'all's content, I said, bro, a partnership or collaboration, friendship, something makes sense. So let's see what we can make work. And did you know I was nervous when I met y'all?
You was nervous? Yeah. You said it. You told us after. But we didn't know because you was rapping and everything that day.
Well, that's me.
So you couldn't have been that nervous.
I was only doing that because y'all started that. When I said y'all started, when I saw y'all do that, I said, oh, they have no idea.
But we don't even know how to rap.
Right, but I just thought that it was interesting that the day I met y'all were doing that when that's something that I already do. Yeah. So I said, oh, this actually makes it felt effortless. It felt effortless to do that with y'all. Yeah. So I was thinking that this would make a lot of sense.
One thing I learned about the three of us is like we all are like to ourselves for the most part. We know how to, get out and network and stuff like that. But when it's like the three of us, it's just, I don't know, something. Yeah. We just click.
I feel that. But I do kind of want to talk about some of the podcasts first before we get into a little bit more about who you are. So on the podcast, it is yourself and then it's 2 other ladies with you. So what are some of the hardships that come with that for you? Because like I said, I wanted to shoot with the 3 of y'all because I was going to say now it's both of y'all and it's both of us. So, we can have a little back and forth, a little banter and you'll have some backup. But how you usually feel about that?
I already know what they're going to say, but I feel like... I feel like with 2 girls, it's easier for them to gang up low key. Like on the podcast, they be sometimes switching. Like one of them agree with me on something, but if the other one doesn't, then the other one just start playing off of what she's saying, and then it's like if Jada feels one way, and then Yanni is agreeing with me, then she may start agreeing with Jada just to like throw it off.
They won't just stick to it.
Yeah, so they're like girl code, like you know what I'm saying. So it's that I don't think it's really much of a challenge, like a lot of challenges, because a lot of the things that are uncomfortable for us to speak about, we speak on it, we call each other out on it. So like, it's not really too hard. It's not a negative friendship. We really have positives, a lot of positives. So I don't think it's much challenges. And then we also have like got closer with each other, more open. I remember at first we used to all just sit in front of each other and be going through a ton of stuff and just sit there and not say nothing. So yeah, I would say like it's not really much challenges other than them ganging up sometimes.
And I think that's part of the reason why I asked, because sometimes since it's two ladies on the show and then it's you might feel like whenever you speak for all guys. Yeah. So you might feel more pressure when you do speak sometimes, or you might feel like they're ganging up on you. So you kind of have to defend yourself all the time.
For sure.
I was just curious about that. But I want to also touch on the fact that I've seen you say on some podcasts before that most of the people in your family are women. Mm-hmm. So do you think that background experience helps you and eases your transition into being a podcaster with two girls?
I mean, does it?
I'm asking you. You let me know.
I don't know. I've learned that, and I learned that in most areas of my life, it's like women just somehow be the main, like the main factor in my life, whether the clients that I'm working with or like the friends that I have. I do have like some dope male friends like you, and then just some people that I really like click with. Yeah. But so it has made it easier because I can understand like how a woman may react to things or different things like that. But one thing I had to learn is like to be more patient, because I'm more like a logical person, and I want to find a solution right away. Sometimes it may not be exactly a decision, may not be made right away. You get what I'm saying? Or sometimes just a lot of stuff, like a girl may not like how she looks in a video, and now we got to take more time for them to fix themselves up and stuff. So like just learning to be patient in those moments, and not like, so like, because I can say that I am impatient a little, and so I just learned that sometimes it's like, all right, calm down, you know what I'm saying? So I feel as though it has helped me, and my mom, she be telling me like, you got to be more patient and stuff like that. You can't just be so like, we got to do this, we got to do that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not the best person with, time management. I'm working on that gradually each and every day. But
most of us are.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say like, I'm constantly evolving. That's the best way
as you should be. Yeah. As you should be. Another thing I think is really interesting for the dynamic of y'all's podcast is the fact that, especially since it's shot in Atlanta. Yeah. None of y'all are from Atlanta. Yeah. But y'all are all here. So tell the people a little bit about where you're from. Because I remember on your last podcast I watched. Yeah. You said something really interesting about
the Jersey DE Atlanta boy.
DE ATL.
It was some dumb stuff that I like. It was like, cut it out, bro.
Thought you were trying to spell something.
No, because I was just in my head on the way to the car, and I don't know why I said that. But yeah, so basically, because I've had this battle for real where I'm from Jersey, but I lived in Delaware, both 10 years each. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Jersey since I was 10. I moved to Delaware, and I moved from Delaware to Atlanta when I was 19. So I've lived in both places for 10 years, and it's just like, I be having that challenge where I'm like, bro, I'm not from Delaware. But it's like, bro, you are from Delaware. You lived your whole teenage life out there. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where I started my YouTube channel. That's where I started my business. So you can't neglect Delaware. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I would say that I'm from New Jersey and Delaware.
Okay.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
You know where I'm from.
You from Ohio, bro.
Hold on.
You from Ohio.
Hold on. What was that?
I don't know. It's just Ohio. Nobody's really. Oh my god! Like, Ohio, go Ohio.
What you mean? Okay. You get what I'm saying? I usually get into this with people. We ain't gotta get into it, but
bro, nobody's hyping up Ohio.
Like, we got LeBron, we got the Cavs, we got the Bengals. Oh yeah. You're shady, bro. You're shady. You're shady,
bro. Name one highlight from Ohio.
Delaware? Nobody. I'm from Delaware. You got Jersey.
People hype up Delaware low key.
Who?
Okay, I'm not.
You're from,
bro. Exactly. People hype up Delaware because, bro. It's talent. Okay, I can say this. In Delaware, it's mad talent out there.
It's talent everywhere.
No, it's mad talent out there.
No,
like
it's mad talent everywhere you go.
It's like people out there, they just need to get out into a different world. Like that's why.
Okay, that's anywhere,
bro. There's people I can name like Layla Samia or who else? D Mose. He's a photographer. Okay. Layla Samia is a singer. It's multiple people out there that be like doing their thing for real. You get what I'm saying?
Just like every other place.
No, it's different, bro. Cause like the grind is different out there. Like. And then Wilmington, they had the most like killings and stuff like that. I mean, that's not nothing to...
I'm about to say! What you mean?
That's not nothing to praise, but it's like... Delaware made their mark. 302
that
made their mark.
Wild. You threw I said, what you mean?
I'm not laughing at that because that's a serious... Yes, that's a serious matter. But I'm just saying, like, Delaware got the North Side Walk, all of that stuff. The North Side Walk is a dance. Of
the circumstances and the challenges that come from the area. Just like any other area.
But nobody's like, yo, Ohio is like the best thing. You feel me? Like Jersey.
As long as you know me, you know I've always been like that.
People can rep Jersey from like doing the Jersey club music. Like I feel like Jersey and Delaware has made their mark in the spaces for real. You get what I'm saying? Like people have made their mark. Nobody's like really just like, Ohio is it. You feel me? Like let's go to Ohio. I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
You never been there, have you?
No.
I didn't think so.
I'm not excited to go anyway. Like,
so let me bring it back. All right. Do you feel like having lived in these different areas has kind of informed and influenced you and how you kind of interact with people?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I do realize that I like that tough exterior. Okay. It's kind of like I'm an even kill almost because I'm not too ghetto, but I love like the ghetto-ness.
A lot of crazy
No. You gotta feel me though. Like I love like the atmosphere of like the ghetto, but then I also like the like luxury side and the suburbs and stuff. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm not too far off from neither. I'm just like in the middle. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. So describe Atlanta for you then. Like what's Atlanta to you?
Atlanta is very...
Is it both for you?
Yeah, it's both. And it's like Black Hollywood almost. You get what I'm saying?
Is that what brought you out here?
Yeah. Like my clients and just seeing, different people. I feel as though the experiences that you see in Atlanta, that's one thing that I can say about like Jersey or Delaware is I don't think I would have evolved into who I am if I would have stayed too long in both places. Like I didn't want to move from Jersey because all of my family is out there and all of my family is from there. So that kind of hurt me for a while, and it played a lot on, just like how I felt about like moving to Delaware. Like I really didn't like it at first, but Delaware kind of evolved and created me to like become who I am today. Like it's how I got my start on YouTube and all of that. So
did it hurt you or did it grow you?
Both.
Okay.
It did hurt for real. Like it hurt moving away from. I stayed with my I didn't stay, like I wasn't just staying, but my mom, she took care of my granddad, and so she moved into his house and she was taking care of him, and it was like a 2-story home. So moving from him, he taught me a lot of the wisdom and stuff like that. And my grandmom and my grandpa and my uncle and my aunt. So, moving from them, that kind of hurt me bad. And, my cousins and stuff, like moving from them. But like I said, I don't think I would have became who I was because what was I going to do in Jersey? And it was only so far that I was able to take it in Delaware because it's like, it's nothing in Delaware. It's like, it's like an even kill. I'm like, there we go.
All the stuff you was just saying.
This is what I'm saying. It's mad talent in Delaware. It's a bunch of dope people in Delaware. But staying in Delaware is nothing there for you to grow or excel. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
not like Atlanta.
Yeah, it's not like Atlanta. Like, you can meet. The first time that I came out here and I went to Toast on Linux, I saw Summer Walker. So it was like the fact that you can even just be in those places and just casually run into people, it's crazy. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like Atlanta just gives you that vibe where you can be in it if you want to, and you can go back to your own to keep building and keep working and stuff like that. So I feel like it give you the best of both worlds.
See, I think that's interesting because for a while, I had not been to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta before the last few years, but I kept hearing that it was Black Hollywood. And, you know, if you want to be in media or do entertainment, all those different kinds of things, then Atlanta's the place to be compared to here in New York or LA, which are places that I've been in New York. I've never been to LA. I
recently have started going to LA.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I've never been to LA, but I'm not really in a rush because I feel like those are areas that everyone wants to go. I felt the same way about Atlanta as well, but I think you don't necessarily hear about LA or New York being called a Black Hollywood. So being in somewhere like Atlanta, I know for me personally would also feel like something I would love to do. So that kind of makes sense as to why I see you here. And then why I also see your peers that came here as well. Like, again, everybody else on Growing Painz with you, they are not from here, but y'all all came here. So I think it's just interesting that Atlanta is the place that brought y'all together because I'm starting to, even when you drive around, bro, just getting here from where I was, I'm like, bro, this is an hour drive.
Now, that's the one thing that...
and it's still Atlanta.
Nah, for real.
That's weird.
It changes because in Delaware, now, like I said, I grew up in Jersey until I was 10, so I didn't really get to experience like my teenage years like of moving around and stuff on my own. But in Delaware I did. And so in Delaware, if you late somewhere and you leave out like at a later time, you can still get there on time. If you leave out at a later time in Georgia, you're late. Simple. Ain't no getting around it. You already late. You might as well just tell everybody like
I learned that trying to catch a flight one time. I was supposed to, I think it was one of the last times I was here, I was supposed to catch a flight back home. Bro, I missed that flight. I missed it because I thought I had, you know, the 40 minutes. And I was like, oh, I really got 40 minutes until you hit the road. And it's traffic as soon as you hit the road. I said, it's going to be my first time missing the flight. I don't want to do that. But here we are. But I do want you to talk a little bit about that trip that you just came back from in LA.
Yeah, so I've been currently working with Queen Naija. That's like my sister at this point. You feel me?
That's really cool.
We have a really tight bond, and I don't take it for granted. And so she made me into her content creator. So basically, she has me filming for her. We're doing like a docu-series, all this stuff. And like I originally started off doing her graphics and editing her videos. And then when I moved to Atlanta, she was like, you know how to film? And I was like, I mean, I know how to film myself. She was like, well, that's good enough. So let's start working. And we just started working. And yeah, so now I work with her consistently. And we do like a lot of stuff. She's currently working on an album. So she's going back and forth between here and in LA. And so LA, it has the most resources and stuff. Like the big places, ATL, LA, and New York, like they have their specific reasons that people go out there. And so for LA as an artist, for her, you can meet different artists. Like a lot of artists are out in LA, so you could just have them pull up to the studio and stuff like that. And so with that being said, that's why we're out there. And while we're out there, like we're filming and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's very dope. Like you get to see new experiences. You get to meet the people that you see on social media. And one thing for me that I realized is really I always wanted to be in the entertainment industry since I was a kid, and seeing it now in real time that I'm like really there and like in it. I've realized that like the entertainment industry is just really like high school, and it's not a bad way, but that's how I frame it in my mind. Like it's like who's the most popular and like who got the hit song and like who stands out the most. You know what I'm saying? So I just realized like that's how it is. That's how it comes. It's perceived to me.
See, that's interesting because most people don't even get in that space. So they can't really speak on that. But I've also feel like I've somewhat had that thought that if you're in Hollywood, whoever's the most popular, that's who everyone, like for example, if Beyonce was to go somewhere, right? Everybody, even if you are already a big star, when you want to stand next to someone like that, you're thinking, I want to meet her. She touched me, or you know, just different things like that. But the fact that you were able to be there is also really interesting. I think that has opened your eyes to a whole new world. Because when I was looking at the pictures for you, I was thinking, bro, this is, first off, what you were wearing was smooth. I'll give you that.
I appreciate it. That was like, last minute too.
I was like, that was clean. That was clean for sure. But just looking at that, I was thinking if that was me, I would be I'd be grateful and thankful, and I would just be very, I feel like my perspective would just be wide open. I'd be thinking, I'm really here? At 20? 21?
21.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, who would have thought I've ever been here? Because the first time I ever went to California, I was just surprised I was in California, how young I was. Mm-hmm. So for you to be in California, in LA, at an event like, it was for YouTube?
It was a YouTube Leaders and Legends event. Yeah. And it was for Cash Money. So Birdman, Lil Wayne, and all of that. And bro, Lil Wayne was in there and I did not see him. I was sick, bro. Because I saw the pictures, like, and I was like, he was in there, like, because everybody else was in there, like Master P. Mm-hmm. Who else was in there? Sweetie, and Choppa. It was just like a bunch of different people. Yo Gotti, Juvenile, Young Manny, like all of these different people that I saw on like the big screens and stuff. And I'm like, yo, like y'all, it's like, it's so surreal because like it just feels mind-boggling that you get to, that I even am able to be in the rooms, and that, you know, Queen trusts me enough to operate in those rooms and not be like a groupie or, you know, trying to do the most. Like, you know how some people switch up when they get around those people. Like, I'm still the same person when I go in those rooms. Like, nothing can change me, and
Were you surprised by that?
Was I surprised by what?
At the fact that you didn't change up, because when people get around some of their favorite people, they're, you know, they fanboy, fangirl out, but you still got to, you maintain, you know, who you were.
No, I wasn't surprised because I know my character and I know who I am. So it's nothing that can really, it's nothing that can really make me sway any kind of way to get out of character. Like most people, they start switching up or they want to talk about their accolades and who they work with and stuff. Like none of that stuff makes you. So at the end of the day, I'm still me, whether I got like $1 million in my bank account, and $1 million in my bank account, or $100 million, or $0. Like all of this can be taken away if I don't, you know, respect it, or if I don't show gratitude in those moments. Cause that's really all I was doing. Like seeing these people and like seeing how much of an impact they made on people and how much respect they get. Like that's what I pay attention to. I'm not looking to take a picture or stuff like that. Like it was cool to take pictures. Like I took a picture with NLE Choppa just to, but that wasn't for me. Honestly, that was more so for like, oh, let me show my brother. That was like, let me show my brother and take a picture with him so that way he can see that it's possible that you can do whatever you want. You get what I'm saying? Because I always see myself in the entertainment industry. I just didn't know how it looked. Like I remember watching music videos in my living room with in my granddad's house. We're on a 2-story home, and you know, in the first floor house. I remember sitting in the room and watching music videos and watching like Christina Aguilera and Nicki Minaj and Drake's come up and Chris Brown's come up and stuff. Like I remember watching those videos and just being like, yo, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna get in the door, but they gonna let me in. I was like, yo, like, I asked my grandma, because she bought me a piano, ain't never used it. I thought I was gonna sing or something. I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, I gotta get in the door. Like, and yeah, graphics is what brought me in the door, for real.
So I have 2 more questions about that event. While you were there, did you feel overwhelmed at all?
No. I felt very at peace. It's just very... It's very mind-boggling. It keeps going back to that, and it feels like a movie. That's what it feels like. It feels unreal. You know, how did I lead myself to this point? And I know it's because of the work, but I can say that I feel as though like I still need to put in more work. You know what I'm saying? I still need to put in more work. I still need to get in, improve my character and continue to develop. So I'm just like, that's what I'm focused on. And even just hearing different people, so I forget his exact name, but he's his name, I forget his name. It's like Lior or Lion or something like that. Okay. But he's like one of the head people on YouTube, and he was like, the whole meaning of this event of Leaders and Legends is the way that they're a leader, the way that they're a legend is because they do the work. People that are legends, they do the work. People that are leaders, they do the work. So you have to be consistent enough in order to get where you want to get to. And I know that I had to work on consistency. I know that I have to work on my communication. I know that I have to continue to improve those things in order to be a legend, because I want to be a household name. I want to be a household brand, and I want to have I want everybody, the same way people think about Apple, the same way people think about Eric Thomas and all these great people, I want people to remember me in their minds like that. Like, yo, I want to be inspired by Tre'Vion. What would Tre'Vion do in this circumstance and stuff like that? So Yeah, that's what I was thinking about in those moments, and just showing a bunch of gratitude, like just thanking Queen like for the opportunity and allowing her to even trust my craft, because I'm not the best. There's people out there better than me, but I put in the most effort. I show up no matter what, even if I have struggles or even if I lack in areas. So all I do is just continue to show up in every moment. So that's what's got me in the rooms. That's what's got me where I am today, and I'm grateful for that.
So as I'm taking in everything that you said, I have another question, but now I'm going to make more of an assumption based on what you just told me. Because at this event, it sounds like you were very present, very grateful. And when you're feeling things like that, it's hard to worry because you're, present and you're in the moment. So I'm guessing you did not feel imposter syndrome while you were there.
No, I feel as though I'm meant to be there. It's nothing. There's no difference from me and a person who already made it or who already has a brand. There's no difference. They just put in the work. They just showed up. They were Birdman. He was saying like he was not no rich kid. He didn't come from a suburban household, or I don't even think he came from a 2-parent household. And even Lil Wayne, like he was saying, like he saw himself in Lil Wayne. He saw himself in the artist that he was picking out. And so with that being said, it's like that's how I look at it. I give credit to the people that has contributed to my success. Queen, Clarence, David Shands, like those people, they see themselves in me, and they see my efforts. They see my work and my drive. So I don't feel imposter syndrome. I don't feel as though, I'm not meant to be there. I have in the past, but I know who I am in this moment, and I'm learning to live in that. I'm constantly evolving into who I am. I'm constantly living in my truth, and that's all I can do. Like I just have to be myself in every room. And also I can say this, my relationship with God, like that's also another thing. Yeah. But I sometimes forget to mention that, and not because I think that I'm doing this all on my own, but God has really brought me through like the tough times, and every time I feel like giving up, I was stressing a lot. Through the moments of getting ready and stuff like that. But remembering, like, put your focus back in the moment. Don't focus on everything outside in this moment right now, because once it's gone, it's gone. All you have is them pictures. All you have is them videos. So make sure that you pay attention to the moment now and don't forget about it. You get what I'm saying?
Tre'Vion, man. You dropping some gems, man. You going off. It's just because I'm 25. Yeah. And as I'm listening to you, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, because as we were talking about it, people that at the event got to be leaders or known as leaders and known as legends because they did put in the work. But it sounds as if you are very confident already in where you are and where you're going. And for you to feel that at 21, because I've been 21 before, I felt the same way, but I didn't necessarily I personally didn't feel like I didn't have the things to show for that. Yeah. But I would say that, at least on the outside, it does seem like you have some of the things to show for it, because some people would probably love to be in the position that you are in, to be at those events, because I'm pretty sure that's a very exclusive thing to be there at that event, and you were one of the people in the room. So for you to already be there, for you to already have seen how the work that you have put in has gotten you opportunities to work with people like Queen Naija and to be mentored by people like David Shands, are you surprised at how soon you've gotten to where you are?
Nah, I can't say I am surprised, because it's like, bro, how did you get here? Like it's almost like everything, I don't want to say everything fell into my lap, but it's just like God provided me with the tools in order to work in my craft. And I taught myself how to edit. I taught myself how to learn certain things with a camera and stuff like that. I had a whole YouTube channel before doing graphics or any of that, before working on Royalty Made It. So it's like, bro, how did you get here? Because this was just a little idea in your mind as a kid, and now you're actually living it. Yeah. And I'm just saying to myself, yo, the younger version of yourself would be so proud. Like, he would just really be thinking, like, bro, I was just in my room thinking, like, I was just in my room when I had a YouTube channel, and I remember starting a YouTube channel and saying like, I can't wait to collab with Queen Naija. I can't wait to collab with Clarence and to have an actual genuine relationship with them and just continue to thrive in that. It's like, bro, how did this even happen? Like, what is different from me and all of the other people? And I know it in a sense. I'm very true to myself. I don't cross the line. Like some people, they think that they have to get around people and show every little accolade.
Yeah.
When I was going through depression in the first few years of like starting my business and at the decline of like YouTube and stuff like that. When I started Royalty Made It and stuff, the first 2 years of my business, it was word of mouth. And the first year I started off working with bigger names like Deshae Frost and all these other people, and I was terrible at these graphics, but I believed it in myself. I knew that the graphics was trash. Like I knew it was trash myself, and I had the audacity to be charging money for people to pay it, but people was paying it.
Yeah.
And what I did was the first 2 years, 365 days, I kept going, burnt out every year. By the end of the year, when they were doing Vlogmas and stuff for YouTube, and that's a thing where in December, at the end of each year in December, they do 25 days of just like consistency. And I'm doing the thumbnails and I'm editing the intros and outros, and I'm burnt out too. And I'm still going, and I'm making mistakes. I'm falling behind on orders. I'm doing all of this, but I kept going, and I still keep going to this day. So for me, it's just like it is a lot. It makes me question how did I get here, and why do people trust me enough to even be a part of their journey?
I feel like I can actually answer a part of that for you. So I'm sure you remember this. We were at, what's that taco place y'all like? Taco Mac?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we were at Taco Mac once, and bro, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So we all in there, we're eating, and there you are with your computer out, editing. I remember that. And I remember, cause you were editing on Photoshop.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm one of the people that probably gets intimidated by looking at it.
Yeah.
But I was watching you, and you were like, click, 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 click. Like I was I said, bro, you are moving way too fast. But the only way you'd be able to do that would be if you put the time in. Because I know if it was me, I'd be sweating every little detail. I mean, every move I'd make, I'd have to think about it over and over and over. Whereas I saw you zooming through it. And it let me know he does this. He's not new to this. He's true to this. Like, he really does this, because we were out chilling, kicking it, eating, and there you were with your laptop out. So my respect for you really went up in that moment, because it showed me that he is dedicated. We out here chilling and we out here kicking it, and even still, he brought his work with him, and I was inspired because I was thinking, bro, I get it. So when I asked you if you were surprised at how far you've already come, I'm not surprised that you would say, like, I really wouldn't be surprised either way if you said yes, because at 21, you might feel like you're old. As I get older, I'm realizing that that's not old at all.
I feel like I'm not old until I'm 80 or 90, and my Johnson stopped working or something. Like, yo, nah, I didn't mean to. See, that's the unhinged side of me. I didn't mean to say that, but it's like that's when I feel like I'm old. You know?
Yeah, but it's just it. When I was looking at you in that moment, I said, bro, he's serious. Yeah, this dude is serious, and this is not. I mean, it's just kind of cool to see basically a professional in their craft, because when someone can go through that fast, if somebody could get a job done for you in 10 minutes, it probably took them maybe 10 years to get to that point. So
for me, it's been like 4 or 5 years.
Right. So for you to already have that experience, have all these accomplishments that you've already accomplished, of course, and I know you're still working for more, that gets me excited for you. And I am very... I would say it's a privilege for me to be a friend, because I get to see it, and I actually get to ask you questions and say, bro, what did you use to do this? Or can you help me do this? Or what can I learn from you? And I'm older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so for sure.
I can respect that.
The one thing I can say, I may not have imposter syndrome when I'm in these rooms and stuff, but I do be having imposter syndrome about my craft. Like, am I even a real graphic designer? Am I even a real videographer?
Your stuff clean.
All of that stuff.
Your stuff clean.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you, your stuff clean. Bro, when I look at your thumbnails, And whenever you, cause especially on your Royalty Made It page, when you post what you were sent to work with and what it turned out to be, I'm thinking, bro, that's professional work. That's crazy. Because there's like, let me not air out necessarily. Like, let's say someone sent you a picture of themselves in a garage, right? Just a straight up picture of themselves in a garage, but the finished product looks like they're on the lawn of a mansion in Miami. Yeah. And it doesn't look like it's out of place. I'm like, how did you do that? Those are the kinds of things that really have me asking questions, because I'm confused on how you even accomplished that. But then when I see you putting in work like that, it lets me know, look, I don't know what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing. So I can respect that.
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like that's the only time I get imposter syndrome, because I'll see other designers and I want to get to that level of improving my craft, and I'm like, dang, like I want to keep improving, and it's like I'm not there yet. Well, I'm not there yet of exactly where I want to be in my craft. But it's like, you've made it so far from where you started from. Exactly. So like, be grateful for that moment and appreciate that moment. So yeah, I appreciate that. And even like just you as a friend and stuff, like I know that I've talked about that on the other podcast that you had said that you watched, but like most of my family were women, and like my dad wasn't involved, and you know, I have like troubles in my relationship with my stepdad, and learning that I have to forgive in those moments. And so with that being said, it's just like you as a friend, or having other male friends, just really like realizing how to operate in those friendships, how to be a friend to a male. Because I know how to be a friend to a woman, but how do you be a friend to a male? How do you connect with a male? And honestly, I watch sports and stuff like that. Like I'll watch a basketball game. I just was out in LA watching one. Yeah. But I really like boxing. And not most people like that. And so...
Oh, yeah, because you used to be fighting.
Yeah, so it's like, bro. I used to be fighting. I used to be a hothead. But, like, in those moments...
wild, bro.
Yeah, so I try to figure out how to connect with, like, males, because they like football, they like basketball and stuff like that. So how do you connect with them in those moments when you just like one sport and you don't you're not interested in watching those other sports? I'd rather work and continue to improve my skill before I go watch a basketball game and stuff. And sometimes I have to remember in those moments to live life as well.
But I think that's so as far as you trying to, learn how to build those relationships with other males, I know for me, one of the first things I usually bring up is sports, because I love where I come from. Yeah. And my sports teams and whatnot. But once I realized that that's not the thing that you're into, I'm thinking, okay, what is it that's common between us? So we both music, YouTube, podcasting. So I'm like, bro, we still have plenty to relate on. Yeah. I'm always saying you should lock up, because you should.
Bro, I'm nervous. Like I'm nervous because I have like a lot of hair. Psoriasis. Okay. And that's something that I'm not afraid to talk about, but like I have like a dry scalp problem. Yeah. And so like I have to constantly wash my hair and stuff and make sure that it's like hydrated and all of that. So with dreads, I just don't like the sloppy look of dreads, like when the dreads be hanging and
frizzy.
Stuff.
Oh, I think I get what
and then also I'm afraid for my hairline to start looking like an unk. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So okay. I don't really want that for me.
Man, bro, you might as well. You know what? I'll leave you alone about it.
Unk hairstyle is crazy. But every time, here.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
You can have locks and still have a clean lineup though. You can. That's what because I've learned that I don't always have to have a retwist every time. I mean, you see me now.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. Shake your dreads.
Yeah, but you don't always have to. You don't always have to have your hair retwisted. But like you said, you don't necessarily like that look. But as long as you have a lineup, you're good to go. But that's neither here nor there. I wanted to actually ask you a quick question. So you have ADHD? Is that self-diagnosed?
I don't know.
I feel like
it's self-diagnosed because my mind just be everywhere. Like,
see, what I think is so interesting about that is I feel like you're one of the most focused people I know,
and I think I'm not.
So, because when I see a lot of the different work that you do with different people, and then I also see sometimes, at least on your Instagram stories and whatnot, you're posting quotes that I end up screenshotting almost every time. Cause I'm thinking, dang, this is a bar. And it lets me, every time I see it come from you, it kind of lets me know where you are mentally. You thinking, yeah, I know I'm looking at this, but this is where my mind is because these are the words that portray what I'm feeling. And this is why I'm showing it to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I feel like it's interesting that I've heard you say, whether it's self-diagnosed or not, that you feel like you're scatterbrained all over the place, but you seem very focused. That's something I really appreciate about you. And I think that's really cool, but it looks like you don't agree.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm trying to find something that like, think of like a dart or something. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it got like confetti as well when you let it go. Like imagine a dart. See, that's what I'm saying. Like imagine, like lock it with me. I'm
trying to
imagine like you pulling like a dart and like you hitting it and confetti comes out at the same time. That's how it is. It's like I'm focused, but then all this other stuff is around it that like makes my brain go here and
but
go
the dart is still going forward.
Yeah, but the dart is still going forward with the confetti all around, and it's like
focused.
Yeah, it's focused, but it's not focused. You get what I'm saying? Because no, listen. Because I the way that I operate, I need to learn how to get out of the habits of thinking that the way things get done is by doing it all at once. I'm a person where it has to be done all at once. I haven't got to that point or learned how to break things up. Maybe like I got this t-shirt brand that I want to start.
That's hard. That's hard.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that.
That's sure hard.
Yeah, so and that's crazy because it all started from like a YouTube thumbnail. And
I know.
That's crazy.
I was like,
and then me, Jada, and Yanni was like, "Oh, you should put that on a shirt." I'm
that's
like,
tough.
I should.
I would buy that.
That's crazy. Because, bro, it's crazy, man. I'm gonna get back to that. But you know, like with releasing these shirts, these royalties, that's what I have been calling them. It's almost as if I think that I need to like get the shirts all printed out and all of that stuff, and then do the photo shoot all at once, and then, you know, release the shirts and start promoting all at once. And instead of like gradually getting things done, like breaking it down, like, okay, you buy the shirts first, then you get them shipped, then you get them printed. Now you get models and you start having people wear them. And then you start building like a rollout for an anticipation for the shirts. That's what I have to learn to focus on, is breaking things down in chunks and not thinking it all has to be done at once. You get what I'm saying? Like that's how it is for me. I believe that my mind frame right now is thinking that everything has to be done at once. Like that's what I have to learn to focus on, is breaking things down in chunks and not just thinking it all has to be done at once. Not just thinking, oh, you have to make such an X amount of money in order to buy this at once. You get what I'm saying? Like, why can't you use credit for in the time period to pay it now and then pay it back to the credit card later? You get what I'm saying? Or different things like that. Like my mind just races in those spaces, and I get like that's crazy. I get like analysis paralysis, and I have
to keep going. I'm done.
That is I'm like rhyming low key, but I'm not trying. But like I get like analysis paralysis where I just start, I'll be like, dang, where to start? You get what I'm saying? And I have to constantly remind myself, this is where you start. Break it down in chunks, because for me, I'll just get overwhelmed. And I deal with that a lot, like being overwhelmed or having anxiety and stuff like that. So yeah, it plays a lot on who I am and how I operate sometimes.
See, that's just making me think about, because as far as hearing you break everything down so you don't get overwhelmed, but hearing how when you were overwhelmed and burnt out, you were also pushed to get here. Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking it sounds like you do want to make a change, but you moving one way has definitely got you, I think, to where you want it to be. Because I know I struggle with, you know, maybe being overwhelmed or burnout as well. But I also feel like, and I think I'm bringing this up because I've heard you talk about balance before and how important that is. I struggle with that pretty bad, because I sometimes think that for me to get more of one thing, that is actually, if I'm getting more of one thing than another, that's an imbalance. So what's going to take for me to get to that point? Probably an imbalance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to do more work than rest to get to that point. Now, I don't really try to put that opinion on anybody anymore. I think I've accepted that I tend to do better for myself when I'm like that. Maybe I'm lying to myself. That the jury's still out on that. But I really think that for me to get to certain places, I have to do more things than others might, or than I might want to. Because if I want more of this, how am I gonna get more of this doing less of that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure. And sometimes, I would say like realizing that we can't do it all, and even how you said like, oh, like what you were saying, were you basically saying? I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. You were basically saying that like you work well under pressure. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. That's what I would think. That's what I think, and that's what I would like to say.
Yeah.
But I also tend to apply the pressure to myself because you know, once you get out of school and whatnot, it's like who's really putting pressure on you,
holding you accountable.
And if you really want more for yourself, then because if someone wants more for you, that's beautiful. Yeah. But if you don't, then it's not happening. Yeah. So you have to want more for yourself, and I like to put myself in. It's probably not super healthy, but mentally or metaphorically put myself in a position where my back is against the wall, and I have to rise to the occasion in order for me to get this thing. Some of that might also be from like me watching anime and whatnot. Yeah. Like when their back is against the wall, that's when they actually exceed the limit. And when you exceed the limit, that's how you end up getting that imbalance or those things, that abundance and prosperity that you're looking for. Yeah, because you went harder. Yeah, than others might.
Yeah, for sure. And I can say I'll say for me, I used to say that I work well under pressure, but I don't, because it isn't helpful for me to be overwhelmed or to have anxiety, because then I start feeling like I can't, like, for example, like the moments where I take a break off of my Instagram stories or posting and stuff like that, those are moments where I'm like stressing and like it's a ton going on, and it's like I got to get these orders done and all of this stuff. And so I don't think that I work well under pressure. I think I work well with discipline. I think that I work well with, holding myself accountable. I think I work well with better time management, because those are the things that, yes, you can be, pushing for more. You got to do more than others, but you got to do it well. You got to do it in excellence. You can't just do it. So if that's what I strive for, is to do everything in excellence. I want people to not only respect me for my craft, but I want people to respect me for my delivery as well, for the way that I operate as far as getting things done on time or showing up to places on time. That's what I care about the most. And I learned that I struggle with people pleasing, and I sometimes feel as though I need to say yes to everyone and not realizing or remembering that I have the opportunity to say no. Yeah. And so
the opportunity to say no, that's a perspective on its own. Yeah. You have the opportunity to say no.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Because we may think that this one person needs us. Yeah. And they need us so bad, like they just can't call anybody else. But if you say no, they have to find somebody else. They have to look for somewhere else. You asking me, I'm not your daddy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're not my wife. You're not my son, my daughter. So I don't have no obligations in that sense. And so if I say no, you will be okay. Same way I don't expect people to show up for me at every moment or aspect. And I don't expect people to show up for me at every aspect. I'll do things on my own. I make things happen on my own. If I don't get the help, cool, I'ma still figure it out. So just realizing that other people have to do that as well. And also realizing that when it comes to work-related stuff, that just because you said no, that doesn't mean that it's not another opportunity out there. So when you have the opportunity to say no, that means next opportunity. No means next opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you have to realize, is that you saying no is not gonna cut you out of all of the work that you done did. You get what I'm saying? And I feel as though sometimes I struggle with that in a sense. And I'm not even at the peak of where I want to be yet, but I sometimes struggle with survivor's remorse, or seeing like people and this is a touchy subject for me, but just seeing the greatness in people or the potential that people have in themselves, whether it's friends or family and stuff like that, and just seeing them not apply themselves because they're going through depression, or they're mentally caged into their mind and their way of thinking, and they're not taking the chance to change that. Like, I was depressed, for 2 years in my business. But I knew that I was going to get out of that depression. I was depressed as hell, crying every day, you know, stressed every day. It felt like a dark cloud on me every day. But I knew there was going to be greater on the other side. And eventually at some point I was going to get out of that. And even those moments when I'm depressed and crying, I'm still in front of the laptop working. I'm crying with the laptop out.
Oh my God.
It's like, put it down. I can't believe it, Jesus. I can't believe it. Jesus, get me through. You get what I'm saying? Crying in front of the laptop. I'm answering the phone. Hello? I'm sorry. I got your order done late. You know what I'm saying? So realizing you're going to be okay. Them tears, wipe them and keep going.
And I think maybe the way I'm thinking about you kind of speaks to, it still speaks to your work ethic, because I know even though you may not want to be putting in the hours when you are, the work that I see that comes from it makes me think, bro, you're killing this anyway. Like, I didn't know that you was going through that. And that's where I'd have to have another conversation with you. Yeah. But from the work that I see you do, it seems like you do so well, because whether you have several projects due at one time, they all come out pretty good. So I tend to get confused when I'm like, dang, let me talk to my boy. You get what I'm saying? Because the work that you're putting out is still excellent. The excellence that you're speaking of is the excellence that I still see. So if you're accomplishing that under these circumstances, then as you get to what you would consider your ideal circumstance, then things I definitely think will get a lot better. Yeah,
for sure. And I think I just have to learn to give myself some credit, because I feel as though I don't. I just be like, that's hard. That's not enough. It's very hard. It's like, it's not enough. Like, you still gotta, who cares? Suck it up. Everybody's doing great things. Anybody can be a graphic designer. Anybody can be a videographer. But are you moving in excellence when you do it? And that's what I continue to, I long for at this point. You get what I'm saying?
I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing at all. Because I think it always seems like a lot of the greats, I mainly think of, you know, either Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. LeBron my goal. Let me go ahead and throw that in there. But I still think that when I hear about chasing greatness, that's like the when Kobe was in that conference room and they said, and he was like, job's not finished. I know we accomplished something, but the job's not finished. I feel like when you keep that mentality, it'll at least keep you trying to improve. Yeah. And as long as you keep trying to improve, then you'll obviously get better because you keep striving for something.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that I don't know if this pivots the conversation, but one thing that I noticed as I am achieving things, that people tend to say things like, oh, don't forget about me when you blah, blah, blah. Or when you make it here, make it there. Let me not forget about myself. You get what I'm saying? You worried about me not forgetting about you. Let me not forget who I am in these moments, in these rooms that I walk in, and these people that I meet, or the money that I attain, or the wealth and the luxury things that I continue to receive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me not forget about me, and then I can worry about you. But for now, you worry about yourself, and don't try to continue to call me or, like, you know, doing things like that. No, like, what I'm saying is,
don't call me when I'm up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't call me when I'm up, or like try to call me to see if you still got access. Like, just be a genuine person in every room. Like, that's what most people do. They want to, like, oh, don't forget about me when you blow up. Don't forget what role you played or what relationship we had before I blew up. You get what I'm saying? So remain in those spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't start switching up. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that's rude, but
no. So it's just slight tangent. All right. So you know how Kendrick Lamar got Not Like Us, right?
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of memes as far like with people basically breaking down his lyrics in a more formal way. Yeah. So he says sometimes you have to pop out and show. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, sometimes you have to stop, take a break, and you know, correctly inform brothers. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just funny like that, because the way when you said basically remember the role that you played, like to me that was like a nice way of saying stay on that side. Yeah. Stay on that side that you was on. Don't switch up. Yeah. And that came from Ja Morant. It was just funny when I'm thinking about that, because I'm like, he's saying it politely, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I feel like between the lines. I say things so polite, but I just like some people they look at things like you're a meal ticket, or like you're like a money grab. Like, at the end of the day, we all still humans. You know, some people they choose to get where they want in life, and some people they choose to live with the hand that they were dealt with. So in that sense, it's just like whatever's the outcome is, let it be that. You know what I'm saying? And if you're genuine in your approach when it comes to like being a friend or being somebody that contributes to my success, I'ma thank you for that. But don't forget those moments where you didn't support. And that's the thing. That's another thing that like is a whole nother conversation. Yeah. People be like, oh, nobody support me, nobody do this, nobody do that. Nobody's supposed to support you yet because you haven't done anything. You haven't did anything that stood out. You haven't done anything that grabs people's attention. When I was before I started posting those creative edits and stuff, nobody cared.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, they seen what I was doing. They seen the clients that I was working with, but I had to do something that would grab people's attention. Yeah. Apple had to do something that would grab people's attention. Beyonce, Drake, all the great legends and stuff, like they had to do something that grabs people's attention. People care about themselves. They don't care about what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? So when people say, oh, my family don't support me, my friends don't support me, all of that stuff, nobody cares because you have to go out and find your people. You have to find the people that resonate with you and that resonates with your story, your journey and stuff like that. So that's how I see it as. I don't know if that's rude, but because I don't like to offend people.
Real. Yeah, that's real. Wow,
that's the highlight reel,
bro. I'm over here thinking like that's real. That's the highlight reel. Just because, bro, I just think it's interesting to see all of this perspective wrapped up in this one person. Because to hear, you coming from Jersey and Delaware, where everybody at, you being here at ATL. And knowing some of the background and like what you've come from, what you've done, and where you're going, I think it's painting the whole picture, and then the perspective on where you currently are as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's interesting to hear all of these things come from you at 21, because I'm thinking, bro, you are well on your way, very well on your way. Like I'm not that far from you or anything.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I can hear that you are well on your way because I see it.
Yeah, for sure. So, and like you said, you're not that far from me. None of us are that far from each other. Yeah. It's all about like the decisions that we make each and every day that we get up. So as long as we continue to thrive, as long as we continue to make the decisions that get us to where we want to be and not the lifestyle that like we're handed with, we're gonna be fine. And I feel as though, like you said, like everything is painting a picture, and I feel as though like I'm God's canvas. Like he's painting a picture. He's painting, he's painting here, he's painting there, and he's filling in the gaps of each part of the painting. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And he knows my story. He knows my struggles. So I got to cast all my worries onto him no matter what the situation is. And I always got to give him like the glory and just realize like none of this could be done alone, and you got to pay your dues to the people that like got you there. Not saying like God is the people, but you get what I'm saying. But like everybody that he puts in he uses as a vessel and puts in my path in order to get me to the next chapter. You know what I'm saying?
I do, man. Whew, Trey. Hey man, I'm glad that we've been able to have our at least one-on-one episode. Cause when you weren't with us for that episode I did with the rest of Growing Painz, I was like, dang, bro, where my man Tre'Vion at?
I know, it was a good episode for real.
I was hurt, but man, I'm proud of you. I want to make sure I say that. I'm very proud of you. I appreciate that. The work that I see you do, I'm amazed. I'm inspired. I'm curious. It's fun to watch your journey. Yeah. So I'm thinking, bro, I would love to be in that position, and I know he's living that, and to see that. I know this ain't it. Like this is the start.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna be here with you for the ride. Yeah. So it's cool to see all that going on for you, man. But
for sure.
As we wrap up, man, I want you to basically what's one last piece of advice or a last saying or anything else that's on your mind that you want to share with the people before we wrap up?
I think. Okay. I can say what I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say first. I'm thinking of like the one scripture, Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6. And it says like, trust in the Lord with all trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will with all you do, and he will show you which path to take. So no matter what path it is, whether it's a hard path, whether it's a great path and it's exactly how you want it to go, you just got to trust him through that time. When I was out in LA, I was in this guy's Uber, and he said that he lived in his car, and the car was a rental. And he said that like he's about to lose his car, and you know, he's like he got to pay $600 to the car rental place by Friday. All this stuff, and the least I could do was just give him like some money towards it. And you know, he texted me after. It was like asking for some more. I was like, oh, I wish I could, but I'm sorry, I can't. But I just told him like he said he believed in God, and he was just saying, I just told him like just continue to believe in him. He's bringing you through this journey. You're a dope person. You're a great person. And yeah, just keep doing your thing. Like no matter, even if you lose your car, even if, you know, you can't make it, just try to figure out some ways. And the reason, what I was going to say prior to saying that scripture is like, I know that I have like conviction sometimes of cursing and like wanting to listen to secular music and stuff. But at the end of the day, like I am who I am. So, you know, and I'm not saying that to live to who I am, but I'm saying that of like, this is my journey. Like nobody can judge me for it. Nobody can take away how I'm living right now. You get what I'm saying? Or who I'm evolving into. And so I just ask that like, yeah, everybody just keep going. Just keep going, keep doing your thing. Don't ever stop. You know, don't let people get in your ear. And yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir. Well, once again, man, I appreciate you sharing a little bit of your time with me today here, man, because this has been a long time coming.
For sure.
I've been waiting on this. Yeah. It's been a long road.
Time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Bro, he's a comedian on the low,
See,
bro.
that come from sitting up there putting on that knob. Hey.
But Trey, man, I'm glad that we were able to do this, man. I'm so glad that we were able to have a conversation. I was able to, you know, pick your brain a little bit, and you know, for you to share with the people. And again, thank you to the listener, the watcher of this episode of the Highlight Reel. I hope that you were able to take something away from my boy Tre'Vion here.
Sure.
He dropped plenty of gems. Please make sure to go follow him. I'll make sure to put all his info in the description and everything.
For sure.
But again, that's been your episode of the Highlight Reel. One more time, thank you, Trey.
Thank you.
That's been your episode.
Me at Roy Tre'Vion. Royalty made it.
Yeah. And that's been your episode. Peace out.
Let's get it.